all diseases come from a bad diet. Giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. It comes from a bad diet, but ultimately it comes from the Most High. And the Most High can curse you with diseases, but the fact that you get diseases, Jake, that suffer these different diseases, is from your a messed up diet. Now, I was listening to what's his brother's name? Tariq Nasheed, and he's down here in South America. I believe he's in Costa Rica, and he was just talking in general, and he started speaking about this guy, Nick Cannon. And Nick Cannon getting ready to have another baby, but he said that Nick Cannon was ill or sick, and he's, hoping that he gets well. And he mentioned the disease. The disease was lupus. Now, about a week and a half ago, you had Sarnetta was gravely ill, and he was talking about the corona. You had a lot of people telling him to get the jab. One individual that I caught telling him to get the jab was this guy. What's this guy? The Morris brother. Yeah, I can't think of his name. The dark-skinned Morris brother said to get the shot, and Sarnetta said, "No, I'm not planning on getting the shot." Well, what he's suffering from, he says he has it. They could have diagnosed him with it. See, that's the thing when you go to the emergency room nowadays. They think you can have something else, and they'll tell you, "Oh, you got the Crown Vic Royale." They said there was a report as of this past winter, going into the spring, that there was, they said, 0 cases of the flu. Now everybody gets, a certain amount of people, a big number of people get the flu every year. So could it be that when they went to the doctor to get diagnosed, they found out it was flu, but they labeled it Crown Vic Royale? So so Sarnetta was all messed up, and he was said that in the video, "I'm gonna go to the doctor tomorrow." That's all you conscious dudes that talk all this science. You got the healing medicine, the healing this. You got all the answers, but when your ass starts hurting, when I say your ass, I'm talking about you. You run right to the so-called white man. Now, he also could be suffering from a mild case of mold poisoning, which is mentioned in the scriptures, by the way. It's leprosy of a house. So, everything's in the scriptures. That's in, I believe that's Leviticus chapter 14. The Leviticus chapter 13 speaks about leprosy of the scalp. When you suffer from leprosy of the scalp, your hairs turn thin yellow, blind. Edomites have blind hair. Certain Edomites have blind hair. Well, that's a form of leprosy. And you have 2 forms of leprosy. You have clean leper and you have unclean leper. And Esau would be considered a clean leper. You have lepers out there that can contaminate you. Esau can't contaminate you. So you can walk past an Edomite and not, get diseased by him. Miriam was cursed with the plague of leprosy, and she turned into a so-called white woman. But anyway, Tariq Nasheed, Lord Abba, he was saying, yo, you gotta go get that thing, you gotta get that jab, which shows where his faith is, man. See, I don't believe none of these guys really believe in a higher power, and they pretty much admitted it within the years. They've been coming against us, and we've been questioning them about their gods, Amun Ra and Anubis or Anubis, Geb and Nut, Osiris, these various gods. We ask them like about prophecy. If you're in a situation, we're in the wilderness of America, which is Babylon the Great according to the Bible. It's also Egypt, Sodom and Egypt. It's also Assyria. It's also Bozrah. It's also the land of Edom, pursuant to Isaiah 34. So, we tell them that we're waiting for our power to come deliver us. And it's saying that that's why they say the Bible is a book of fairy tales. Well, my question is this. You're in America. You're under the so-called, you don't have power over the fucking white man, which are the Edomites. None of you Negroes have power. You have very little power as it is. You do not have power over the soak. That's a topic for you, Apostle Ryan Blob. You Negroes do not have power over the so-called white man. You heard me? You have no fucking power. The white man can kick you in the ass anytime he wants. Anytime he wants, he can kick you dead in the ass. And you can't do a damn thing about it but march down the street singing, "We shall overcome." Anyway, and you have no power over yourselves. You get sick. Oh my goodness, let me go run to the white man with the white lab coat on and the stuffer coat. Stuffer. I can't even say it. Whatever you call that thing. Stethoscope. I was going to say stethoscope. And he takes that thing, puts it on you, and you feel better because you're in the hands of the great white man, the Edomite. You see? Anyway, so like I said, I'm watching Tariq Nasheed. He's talking about this guy Nick Cannon, who the so-called white man put his ass in check. They said, let me get the so-called Jew to come on your show and curse you the fuck out, so you never bring that subject up again. That shows you who the powers are. Anyway, let me get back into the diet. Like I said, niggas they'll talk all this magical, comedic, secret knowledge, comedic community, all the knowledge, the heal, the raise the dead and all that. But when a nigga he feel like he getting ready to die, he feel like his spirit getting ready to pop out of his body. Who does he run to? He runs right to the so-called white man. But anyway, in saying all of that, now this guy, I thought about immediately after Tariq Nasheed mentioned this guy having lupus, I immediately thought of Sonetta, and I believe Sonetta, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Sonetta said he had lupus too. So I believe he thinks he has lupus, Crown Vic Royale, but I know that part of what he has is suffering is the mold disease, which is leprosy of the house. All right. So now all these things could be healed by way of diet. And see, this, you know what Jake does? When you go to Harlem, right? Son Ed lives in Harlem. What's in Harlem for the most part? McDonald's, all kind of junk food. You know, you got the Whole Foods down the street, but a lot of that is garbage too, because a lot of that stuff that said non-GMO and certified organic, a lot of that stuff comes from China, man, which they ain't nothing but GMO foods that they label. It's a better grade of GMO foods. It's a better grade of garbage, but it's still garbage, man. The scripture said of Ezekiel, our food shall be defiled among the Gentiles. Let me see if I can get that. Bear with me for a minute. A manna was the perfect food that the Most High gave the sons of Israel. Let me see if I can get this. Bear with me for a minute. I believe that's Ezekiel 5, if I'm not mistaken. No, it has to be 4. Let me try that. Ezekiel 4. And let me get right to the point. Okay, I'll go right to it. It says here in Ezekiel 4 verse 9, it says defiled bread. Bear with me for a minute. It says in the 13th verse, the starting point is at the 9th verse. It says, and the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. So you eating all that Kennedy Fried Chicken, Texas Fried Chicken, Burger King, I call it Booger King. You couldn't pay me to eat at Burger King, KFC. And the C, we don't know what the C, they used to call it Kentucky Fried Chicken. Now they call it KFC. Because what does that C mean? Is that real chicken? About 20 some odd years ago, I stopped eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. I said, there's something wrong with this chicken. But you Negroes have such a, your taste buds are so weak that it tastes good to you. I can taste something and say, there's something, I ain't eating this no more. You know, you ain't gonna see me in Wendy's. You go to fucking Wendy's, you get the fries, right? The fries are sticking over the container. 5 minutes later, the shit shrinks down to have, where did the fucking fries go? That's Frankenfood. That's why you niggas are sick, man. And I remember back in the day when you had lupus, it was normally a woman. I did the research on it. It said lupus affects 90% women, mainly the tribes, the so-called black women, the Latina women, you know, mainly the tribes, man. But it was very rare that men have it. What the fuck is men? What business do you have getting fucking lupus, man? That's a fucking woman's disease, bro. What kind of fucking man are you? Anyway, let me start and go to the 9th verse. I'm a little all over the place, but that's all right too. All you comedic science guys with all the fucking answers, except when your fucking stomach ain't feeling right, you run right to the white man, to the Edomite. Ezekiel 4, and I got a feeling I'm going to get a lot of response videos out of this video, you know. And we're finding that's why we don't follow you motherfuckers, man. Going run right to the sergeant. I'm going to the doctor tomorrow. I'm going to go see the white man tomorrow. Shit. You got to be like Miles Davis. Miles Davis said, they asked him a question. He said, what would you do if you had your last you can do anything you want. What would you do in your last 15 minutes on the earth? He said, I'll choke a white man to death. And I heard that before, but I heard it earlier today by Paul Mooney. And then Paul Mooney said, what's his name? This guy, Martin, the Rolly Bird Martin. You know, that dude. Anyway, he asked him, what would you do in the last 15 minutes of your life? He said, I wouldn't do nothing as outrageous as Miles Davis would do. He said, I would just drown him. And I started cracking up. Anyway, let's read this. Ezekiel 4 verse 9. Take thou also unto thee wheat and barley and beans and lentils, which are all good foods. Something that you Negroes don't know about. You don't know. You couldn't find you couldn't find barley if your life depended upon it, man. You ain't gonna find this in McDonald's or Wendy's or Burger King. It said, take thou also unto thee wheat. Now the wheat today is, you can't eat this fucking wheat. You can eat the wheat back in the ancient world, but this wheat is messed up. And barley and beans and lentils and millet and fitches, and put them in one vessel and make thee bread. Now that's there's a bread called Ezekiel 4:9 bread, and that bread is based upon this right here, what we're reading. That's why it's called. I got Ezekiel 4:9 bread in my refrigerator, and it's all, every ingredient is non-GMO and certified organic. Here you niggas eating Wonder Bread, and I'm eating Ezekiel bread. It says to make thee bread thereof according to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon thy side, 390 days shalt thou eat thereof. And thy meat which thou shalt eat shall be by weight 20 shekels a day. From time to time shalt thou eat it. It says thy meat, right? Now they're saying, well, you're not supposed to eat meat. Originally Adam and Eve didn't eat meat, which is correct. But then they began to eat meat, because one of the first commandments that the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai gave to Noah, Nawak, which means comfort or comforter. He said, when you take the animals, you kill the animals to cook the animals, drain all the blood out the animals. Now Esau loves a bloody meat. It said, thou shalt drink also water by measure, the 6th part of an hin. From time to time shalt thou drink. Verse. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of a man in their sight. So the Lord's saying, look, this is the special sauce. Take a man's shit and mix it into that. Now, why did the Lord tell him to do that? Because it represents what we're eating today. We're basically eating shit. It says, and the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, the other nations, Esau and the other nations, whither I will drive them. And mostly what we eat, and every once in a while you eat something, right? You eat some KFC, or you eat some Mama's fried chicken or Kansas fried chicken down the street, and then you get an upset stomach and you throw up, right? I don't remember the last time I threw up, because I eat decent. I don't eat, sometimes I'll get a little junk, but like I said, I'll get quality junk. Like I said, going to Whole Food is junk, but it's quality junk. It's a better form of junk than the junk that you eat. And like I said, I don't remember, man, it's been years since I threw up. But back when I used to throw up, had the urge to throw up, I was eating that junk. What we eat is not junk. This ain't junk. Inside joke. You knew it was coming. It says, then said I, our Lord the Most High, behold, my soul have not been polluted. He said, man, I'll eat that barley and stuff, but I ain't mixing no man shit and no bread. So it goes on to say in the 14th verse, for from my youth up even till now have I not eaten of that which dieth of itself. Or now that's what they do. They'll give you chicken that died of itself from a disease. It says, or is torn in pieces, neither came there abominable flesh into my mouth. Now, when you go to Acts the 10th chapter, the vision that Peter saw, you got these stupid ass, dumb ass, boneheaded Christians talking about, oh, you can eat pork and you can eat any motherfucking thing. You Christians, since the Lord said, rise, kill, and eat, I want you to eat anything, you damn Christians. I want you to start eating worms, bugs, roaches, rats, snakes. You ain't gonna eat that. Then he said unto me, lo, I have given thee cow's dung for man's dung instead of man's dung, man's shit. And thou shalt prepare thy bread therewith. Why? Back to the 13th verse. And the Lord said, Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of the sons of Israel, that's what it actually says, eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles. We're doing it right now. Let me go into the word defile. Come on. Waiting for this thing to come up. That's ta'amah, which means unclean, impure, ethically and religiously, ritually of places. So anything that's defiled is not good for you. So all the food, even the stuff that you think is good, that you get from Whole Foods and places like Trader Joe's and Kruger's, and you had this one store called Mrs. Green's that went out of business, but you have these green stores. That's a better form of junk, because you can't get away from the junk, but you can eat better forms of it. Like I said, the Ezekiel bread, and I'll probably do a video showing you the Ezekiel bread, and that's based upon Ezekiel 9 and 4. That's why it's called Ezekiel 9 and 4 bread, or 4 and 9 bread, excuse me. Anyway, I didn't want to make this long, but let me read this. I was doing a little research, and I knew before I went to this research, little basic Google stuff. You can learn a lot from Google. Anyway, I knew that lupus, they said the symptoms and the reason why people get it, they'll use a lot of big words, technical words, medical terms, but when you do the research, when you really go into it, it's diet. It's diet. Your women, your queens, they're all fucked up. They're all diseased up. They're all fucking diabetic. And there's one food that will cure diabetes. I can't tell you what it is. You're gonna have to send me some money to get that information. Just joking. Anyway, if you change your lifestyle and your diet. Hey, we had the brother, the elder bishop, who was that? Sakaran, yeah, because there was a couple of brothers that got sick through the years, and he was the one that recently got sick, and he's known for eating a lot of junk food, and he changed his diet up, and it went away. Anyway, it says lupus diet, what to eat to avoid lupus flares. What you eat and don't eat might affect your lupus disease activity, and you men have no business having lupus. That's lupus is for women. So it says foods to eat. It says fish, walnuts, and flaxseed. Flaxseed is great. Walnuts is high in omega-3 fatty acids. And they say there was recent studies where it says walnuts, which is high forms of omega-3 fatty acids, will cure cancer. You have a vitamin called B17, which you can get naturally, and that also reverses cancer. And cancer comes from a weakened immune system because you're not eating right. So it says foods to eat. It says fish, and fish you got to be careful of because there's mercury in the fish, thanks to your friendly neighborhood Edomite. Walnuts, flaxseed. Another thing that's good off the top of my head, the top of my dome, is what is that? Is that sunflower seeds? Pumpkin seeds, I believe. Pumpkin seeds. Well, sunflower seeds are good too, but that's high in what do you call it? Vitamin K, which what's that disease? Prostrate cancer is a vitamin K deficiency. Plain and simple, point blank period. Flax seeds. Although flax seeds have some estrogen in it, which you don't want, but it's good. It's good anyway. Fruits, real fruits, not fruit roll-ups. Fruits and vegetables. I start my day most of the time with green smoothie, and I have all kind of goodness in the green smoothie. I have maybe spinach, maybe kale. I'll have a spirulina, pure spirulina, chlorella, and I have a mixture of greens that I put in that smoothie. I don't drink milk. I hardly ever drink milk. I may drink anything close to milk. I would drink like an almond milk, but a organic, certified organic, non-GMO milk. Whole grains, legumes, nuts, beans. Now it says foods to avoid. Garlic is good for you, but if you're suffering from lupus, you got to stay away from garlic. Alfalfa sprout is good for you, but if you have lupus, you got to stay away from it. Sugar, anything that's a lot of carbohydrates. That's what Jake eats. Jake eats a lot of greasy, salty potato chips. You eat enough potato chips, you're gonna lose your your gallbladder. They're gonna have to poke 3 or 4 holes in you and pull out your gallbladder because your gallbladder ain't working right because of all that grease and salt and that fried food, processed foods, fried foods. Now, one thing that is great, do I still have it? Let me see here. Okay, I looked that up. Give me a second. Bear with me for a minute. That's not what I want. Where the hell is it? All right, here it is right here. Cinnamon. You have two forms of cinnamon. You can use any form of cinnamon you want. You can use cassia, which is mentioned in the scriptures, and cinnamon is also mentioned in the scriptures. You have the best cinnamon to get is Ceylon cinnamon. Excuse me. Your household cinnamon mostly come from China, which is cassia cinnamon. But you want to get it, like if you go to certain supermarkets or even health stores, but regular supermarkets, you have the spice racks. You get the stuff in the glass bottles. Small bottle might cost you $5, sometimes $10. You get the pure organic cinnamon. You get the Ceylon cinnamon. Also get the turmeric. Turmeric is great. That's another thing I put in my smoothies. It fights inflation, and pretty much all the diseases come from inflation. Inflammation. Excuse me. You have a disease. By the way, lupus is an autoimmune disease, meaning your immune system attacks your body, attacks your organs. So it's your body fighting against you. Remember in Corinth, Paul said, defile the temple, the Most High will destroy. And how does he destroy you? By autoimmune disease, man. He has your immune system attack you. And a lot of Edomites suffer that, and Jake too. You got Jake, especially our women is fucked up, man. You know, you got Jake men that's active. You know, a lot of our women are not active at all. They get their welfare checks, they don't walk, they stay in the house, they watch TV all day, and they get all kind of, they go down fast. You know? Anyway, let me read one scripture here. It says, 30 verse 23, take thou also unto thee principal spices of pure myrrh, and I have myrrh in the cabinet, 500 shekels, and of sweet cinnamon. Now you know cinnamon is a Hebrew word. I'll give you the word in a minute. Cinnamon is in the Hebrew Quanamawan. Quanamawan, which is cinnamon. It's a Hebrew word. It says, and I'm going to read on from Exodus 30 verse 23 in the middle of the verse, and of sweet cinnamon half so much, which is 200 and even 250 shekels, and of sweet calamus 250 shekels. 24 verse, and of cassia, which is it's different from cinnamon. It's actually there's two forms of cinnamon. The cinnamon in the 23rd verse would be Ceylon cinnamon, which is the best cinnamon that you can get. If you can't get that, you get the cassia cinnamon. It says, and of cassia, which is cinnamon, 500 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, and of olive, and hin. So you Jakes, you don't have this in your house. You don't have these. You don't have turmeric. You don't have organic cinnamon and these things, and that's why you're sick, because you run into the store, you go into the Chinese restaurant, and we're all guilty of that. We're all guilty of that. But the trick is, in the morning, you put all the good ingredients and make a smoothie out of it, and then you're good. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom, on to the next one. Shalom.